I've lately discovered a place that sells raw exotic woods, pieces that aren't jointed, and since then I've been hooked on playing around the shop, planning a few projects for what I have. I bought some walnut in both 1 and 1.5 inch thick boards, some cherry, maple, and some okume, awesome African wood that I'll make an outdoor bench with really soon. Lastly, the coolest I think, this piece of purple hardwood, which is what I'll be using today. I've made those two charcuterie boards already and realized how quick and easy those were to make, so I'll share how I did it. First you need a template of some 1/4 inch board. There's two ways to do this and I've done both in the past. You can simply print on a piece of paper the template and stick it on MDF, use a bandsaw to cut it up, then sand and refine it until it's perfect. I'm going the easy route. I have laser engravers, so I'm simply going to throw the file at my WeCreat Vision Pro and in about 4 minutes I've got my template. From this step on, all traditional woodworking, but I sure love saving this time and getting perfect templates with no sanding. Take the template and trace your piece of wood. I chose this orientation from using the MDF negative as a preview, but also because it lets me save some wood. If I were to redo a second one, I could flip it over and align the handle over this and save about 4 inches of wood. The board was $30, which I think is decent for all the cool stuff I'll do with this on my lathe, CNC and more. I used the jigsaw to cut it out of the longboard, but I'm going to refine the cut, getting as close to possible to the line on the bandsaw. The more wood you leave here, the harder it's going to be to route away the remains, and it could even be dangerous. Make sure to leave barely any wood, and the next steps will be very easy. Once I'm done, using double-sided tape, I stick the template back on the piece. Make sure there's wood that goes beyond the template all around, and you'll get a perfect result. Using a flush trim bit with a bearing at the tip, adjust your router so that the bearings are about a 1/16 of an inch further down than the MDF. This will make sure that you cut all the wood without damaging the template. Route all the outside edges, make sure it's real smooth all around, then remove the template with a flathead screwdriver to pry it off. Using a small drill bit, drill the middle of where you want your handle hole, barely, just to align the bigger bit for the hole. Using a Forstner bit, I drilled the hole. As you can see, I stopped midway and tried to continue without backing out first. This led to the piece spinning and it cut into my finger, the wood. It bled a bit, got it over the piece and my bench top. I learned a lesson here and I hope it won't happen again. Always release the bit a bit before resuming a hole, when using a Forstner bit or other big bits. I should have probably used my drill press anyway. Well, here we are, so a homemade bandage it is until the end of this video. Before I get back to work, please like this video and subscribe. It really helps the channel reach new levels every week. Thanks to all subscribers. With the hole now complete, it's a bit too small for my roundover bit, so I'll use sandpaper to give it a similar roundover as the outside edge. Switch over to a roundover bit, in my case 1/8 of an inch, and round over both sides all around the outside. With 120 grit sandpaper, give everything a good sanding, and switch to 240 and finally 320. After 320 grit, I rinse the board with a damp cloth and let it dry. This raises the grain. A quick 320 sanding once it's dried will ensure it won't do that again when the user of the board rinses it. Make sure to always do that before adding a finish. I was making those boards as part of a video about marketing engraved pieces and selling them, monetizing my laser engraver, which I'll release really soon. But I thought I'd share my process as it's mostly just traditional woodworking as you saw. So now, before I apply a finish, I chose a few engravings for those boards. The purple heart one will stay in my shop, so I want my logo on there. But the two others, I'll make examples for my store. The maple board will have a wedding gift style engraving, while the walnut one will have a snack related engraving. Those look great. I finished them with simple cutting board oil, which I find the safest and easiest to use for food related items. I gave them 2 coats of them, letting them absorb, and will instruct buyers to maintain them that way. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more build videos of all sorts, and see you next time.